in favor of Plymouth State.
We're at 149 now, Tom.
All right, 149. That's got Dylan Fountain of Daniel Webster College against Nick Simeti of Plymouth. Tell me about Dylan.
Dylan's a Homeland Security major. He comes from a very historically strong high school program, Mount Anthony Union.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah, they just won their third straight New England title last year, and he was one of those big seniors contributing. He himself was a high school New England champ.
It's good for you. It's a good recruit.
Yeah,
terrific recruit, coach.
No doubt about it. That's good.
Dylan, so again, he's from Bennington, Vermont at Mount Anthony Union High School, just a renowned high school wrestling program, Tom. And Nick Simeti, wrestling for Plymouth State, is from Pearl River High at Pearl River, New York. He's a sophomore. Locking up here, fighting for inside, but they're hand fighting there with sort of half a lockup, each trying to get inside position.
You've got some New Hampshire wrestlers on both teams, but you've got a few on Plymouth that I see, and I see one from Nashville, Cam Bennett.
Cameron Bennett is, from what I heard, I don't know if you heard this, Coach, he was their starting 157, won the wrestle off at Plymouth State, but he came down with an illness.
Yeah, he was a last-minute scratch. He was mono, I guess.
Yeah, James DeGasse is wrestling at 157. But right now, we've got Dylan Fountain. He is in the, again, blue and red against Nick Simeti in the green for Plymouth State.
Cam Bennett, of course, from Nashua North High School at 157, was a state champion last year for the Titans. 2-point takedown from the state. Simeti.
At this point, Dylan should be bowing out much sooner. He's kind of put himself in a vulnerable position to get turned. Luckily, he didn't give up any back points.
Two right now, Plymouth. Now, what does he need to do to get out of this?
He needs to get hand control, I think. But what do you think, Coach?
Definitely more motion and moving. Usually just kind of standing still isn't going to help you.
Yeah, he's basically they've been in the same spot for about 40 seconds right now.
Yeah, and he's looking for some opportunities now. He's got very good hips. He's very lanky and can really catch some people, but he's got to create some of his own opportunities off that motion.
Such a technique-oriented sport. How the wrestlers you've got, and Joe, you know this from coaching kids all the way up through the youth levels, they've got to be coaching. They've got to take coaching. There's a lot of coaching that's got to be done in this one.
Absolutely, and Dylan's very coachable. He likes to learn. If there's something that we could teach him, or he'll always ask questions.
That's terrific. You know, Coach, if you could establish a nice pipeline there from Mount Anthony Union, that would be quite the lifeblood for your program.
That would be.
Yeah. We have three of their three wrestlers from Mount Anthony on our roster. One's Dylan Reese-Sauer, who's an engineering major at 157, and then another one's Jacob Woodside at 184. We're excited to have them on the team, and they're all great kids who work hard.
Just fabulous. I think that your school has got a wrestler. Daniel Webster College has a wrestling program. One of the colleges in the city's got one.
Another big recruit, Tom, if you look up on the right of the screen, you see a large gentleman in white. Next to him is a future member, I guess, of
to his right, our left as we look at it. Yep.
Joe Chimelski.
Very notable wrestler in Nashville.
He's a sophomore in Daniel Webster, hoping to wrestle soon for Coach Archambault. He was in a Division I program last year at Sacred Heart University in Connecticut and has transferred. But because of NCAA rules, I believe he's going to wait some time before he can put on the singlet, Coach.
Right. Yeah. This year we're going to focus on academics with Joe, and just get that all squared up and make sure we're setting him up for success off the mat.
What weight class are you thinking for him when he comes back?
I think 197 will be a really good fit for him.
197. Wow.
195 in high school, he can get there.
Yep.
Injury shot.
You make all the arrangements for his private suite and everything else to get in the recruit. I'm sure you good dorm spot and everything.
Joe's the only New England champion in the history of Nashua North High School. And now it's a young high school.
Yeah, a phenomenal year 2 years ago. A phenomenal year.
2 years, really.
2 years running, right?
Yeah, he was a state champ. He was a state champ. He had a great rivalry in New Hampshire with what was his name? A kid from Concord.
Indy?
Yeah, Walters Indy.
Walters Indy, I remember that name too.
An immigrant from Cameroon who was quite a high school wrestler with sort of a physical specimen, and Joe and him had some unbelievable battles. And Joe went on, though, to win New England's his senior year and to win the Lowell Holiday Tournament, which is a huge achievement around here. Just a terrific high school career.
It was a couple of years ago in North.
2 years ago, yep.
Yes, that's right. Now, I'm going to ask you something. What did you tell him there as we had the camera zoomed right in?
Dylan.
Yep, so this was blood time. He has a little bit of a cut inside his mouth.
Okay.
And I think we'll have to cut to that again in a little bit. It was bleeding for most of the period. And basically what we touched on earlier, he needs motion like that on bottom. He needs to be moving. Otherwise, he's going to get stuck. And he's getting a little bit aggressive, taking some risks, but I'd rather him take risks than just sit there.
Now, you talked about Chmielewski and his rivalry with the Concord kid.
With Indy.
How good is that in wrestling to have rivalries?
Terrific. It's great for the sport to have that. It draws fan interest. It gets people more involved. And it's great to see. It makes it more exciting.
It's great for the wrestlers, too, because, a kid like Chmielewski didn't have a ton of competition in New Hampshire his senior year. And to have Indy out there, always looming, is going to give him something to train hard for.
We've got an injury timeout. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more college wrestling. Danny Webster and Plymouth State right after this.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
All right, we are back here after the injury timeout. It is early in this period, 1:25 left. We are at the weight class of 149. Dylan LaFountain.
Dylan LaFountain from Daniel Webster College from Mount Anthony Union High School in Bennington, Vermont, versus Nick Simeti from Pearl River High School in Pearl River, New York.
Now, I talked about rivalries, John. In the world of college wrestling, how difficult is it with all the tournaments and all the different schedules you have to develop a rivalry? In high school, it's pretty simple. They know who the kids are, the other schools, and stuff like that. For college, it's a lot different. You're on the road all over the place.
Well, that's what you're doing here, right, Coach? When you're trying to start that Granite State rivalry, right?
I am, yeah. I tried to coin this the Live For Your Die Dual Meet Championships, and I went and got a trophy and everything like that. So each year the winning team will get their name, mounted on it for that year and keep it going. It's great seeing a good fan and crowd base here. We're hoping that, only in our second year that, this was a competitive dual meet, and in the future it continues to be more and more competitive, and the rivalry will kind of start up.
Okay, what was the call there?
Stall.
Yep, the ref is
stall on LaFountain. A lot of stall calls in this meet, if I remember right.
Yes, the ref has had a unique
approach to stalling.
Yeah, and the whole goal is to make sure that we're making the guys wrestle from whistle to whistle and constantly improving that position in action. So there's definitely a lot more stalling called in the dual meet than used to. But at the end of the day, the wrestlers got to take it out of the ref's hands. They got to be promoting action and working to improve. So.
Right. Don't leave it up to the official to award points in that situation. We're 3-3 right now.
3-3 at the end of the second period. It is Plymouth State's choice. Looking to his coach. Wants neutral. Neutral position.
What's neutral position?
Standing, facing each other.
Okay. Now, why did he choose that? Why was that? Why did you think the coach had him do that?
Coach Sheeting must have, strategically thought that was their best opportunity to score and put points on the board.
to get a takedown rather than trying to escape
Right.
or a breakdown on top.
How many points awarded for the takedown? Is it 2 or is it 1?
It's 2 points.
2 points.
And there it is.
There it is. There's 2 points.
No, ref hasn't scored it.
No, because he bounced right back.
There's
up.
a takedown.
Yep. For you, for
Yes.
Webster.
Correct.
He goes up
Short-lived.
5-3. LeFountain goes up 5-3.
Awful high in the head, and there's a reverse to 2 back. See, so it's scored 2 and great match. The scoring basically in wrestling, Tom, is it's 2 points for a takedown, which is basically assuming a position
Dominance
control.
in that, right. Yeah.
1 point for an escape when you're on the when you are being controlled and you escape. 2 points for reversal, going from no control to control.
Control, right.
And then those near fall points when you have your back to the mat and your opponent is scoring points by having your back not on the mat, but to I think it's a 45-degree angle to the mat.
Correct.
Coach,
Exposed.
yeah, that's basically the scoring, the non-penalty type scoring. And then there's ride time, as Coach explained. If at the end of the match you were in control for over a minute longer than your opponent, you can get a point. What do you think of the ride time, Coach? It's not in high school. It's been criticized by some for, encouraging kind of a low energy type of wrestling. What do you think?
I mean, I guess there's people more important than me up in the food chain who know what's best for the sport. I could see it gone away and not really make a big difference. It doesn't necessarily promote action. They're trying to currently put in more fine print on what's stalling and stuff like that, just to promote more action on top, when getting rid of little things like riding time could easily do that as well.
All right, Simeti just raised his hands thinking that he had a major point score, but it's still 7-6.
It's we're winding down here.
5 seconds left.
And this is that instance where the Plymouth State wrestler has over a minute.
Now watch what happens here, Tom. Plymouth State wrestler has the advantage.
Right.
Because he had a minute more of riding time, they're going to give him the point.
Get a point and send it into overtime?
Yep. If my memory serves.
Correct. Yep. And then in sudden death overtime, it's just whoever scores the first point. They have 1 minute in neutral to...
That's pretty good.
Coach Scheiding.
Yep. Going over making sure it wasn't a takedown if the other points weren't awarded, right? What he said?
Yep.
So you get the ride time point of 1 point, and you're tied at 7.
First takedown
wins. This is pretty good.
That's good. Good drama. I don't know anything about Pearl River, New York wrestling, Coach. Do you?
I know they're a relatively strong program.
Really?
They do pretty well. I know that there's been some successful...
Oh! You get them? Down?
No, they were out of bounds.
Out of bounds. They're going to go back in the circle.
Back to neutral. You can tell LeFountain's been in some battles. I mean, at Mount Anthony Union, they frequently wrestle 100 meets or 100 matches in a year.
Right.
His
senior year was like 62 and 2.
Wow. Which is a lot. When a high school wrestler, Tom, gets 100 wins, it's a big deal.
Yes.
A lot of kids on Mount Anthony get 200, 250.
My goodness.
Yeah, they really
career-wise?
Yeah.
That is incredible. Dominant sport.
Little celebration there, Coach. What do you like? You like that?
I was never one to celebrate, but
he didn't know
if it got the crowd a little excited.
So he gets the win with those 2 points for the takedown, and he's exhausted right now. And